This video explains how to fix your printer when you see a Carriage Jam error message on your computer or the printer's control panel. Turn the printer off and then on again. This will sometimes fix the issue. Press the power button to turn the printer off. If it does not turn off, you might have a paper jam. We will address paper jams in this video in a few minutes. Once the printer is off, wait 60 seconds. It is important to wait the full 60 seconds to allow the print mechanism to reset. Then, press the power button to turn the printer back on. Wait for the printer to turn on and stop making noise. Try printing a self-test page to see if the issue is resolved. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button, which looks like a wrench. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. A paper jam might cause your carriage jam. Do not remove jam paper at this time, but begin by removing any loose paper from the input or output tray. Press the power button to turn off the printer. Turn to the back of the printer. Unplug the power cord from the back. Push in the two buttons on the sides of the duplexer and remove it from the printer. Check the area for jam paper. If you see any jam paper, remove it by pulling evenly with both hands to avoid tearing. If the paper tears while removing it from the rollers, check the rollers and wheels for any torn pieces of paper that might remain inside the printer. If any torn pieces of paper remain inside the printer, more paper jams are likely to occur. While the duplexer is off, let's check it for any jams. Push in the buttons on the rear of the duplexer and lower its cover. Remove any jam paper from inside the duplexer. Once all the paper is removed, close the duplexer cover. Reinsert the duplexer back into the printer. If you cannot remove the paper jam from the back, we will attempt to remove the paper jam from paper tray 1. Turn to the front again. Lift the output tray to access paper tray 1. Using both hands, gently grasp the jam paper and pull straight out to remove it. Be careful when removing from the front of the printer. Check for any torn pieces of paper that may be stuck in the rollers. Use a flashlight to see inside the tray. Remove any pieces that are left behind to prevent future paper jams from occurring. Once all paper is removed, lower the output tray. If you have a second paper tray installed, let's check for the jam there. Lift the printer off of the second paper tray. Remove any jam paper from the second paper tray. Go to the back of the printer. Push in the two buttons on the sides of the duplexer and remove it from the printer. Go to the front of the printer. While the printer is off of the second paper tray, lean the printer back and check for jams in the bottom of the printer. Remove any paper you find. Once all paper is removed, reposition the printer. Go to the back of the printer again. Reinsert the duplexer back into the printer. Go to the front of the printer. Position the printer back on top of the second paper tray. Now let's check to see if paper is jammed in the top. Be careful when removing paper from the top. It can damage the print mechanism. Open the top cover. Gently remove any paper you see. Make sure you get all the small pieces that might tear off. Check the rollers and wheels for any remaining pieces of paper. You must remove all scraps of paper to prevent future jams. Small pieces of paper can easily stick in places that are difficult to see. Use a flashlight to thoroughly search left and right inside the printer. Searching the carriage path with a flashlight is probably the most important step in preventing future jams. Don't worry if the carriage is in the way on the right side. We'll show you how to check that area later in this video. Once all paper is removed, close the top cover of the printer. Turn to the back again. Plug the power cord back in. Turn to the front. Press the power button to turn the printer back on. Finally, load the paper and adjust the guides so that they're snug against the stack. Try to print a self-test page again to see if the issue is resolved. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. Use the following steps to make sure the carriage can move freely. The printer must still be on for these steps to work. Lift the top cover so that you can view the carriage. To access the carriage, you must press and hold the star button on the control panel. The carriage might try to move to the access area on the left. If so, allow it to move into that position. Turn to the back again. While the printer is still on, disconnect the power cord. Turn to the front again. Check for obstructions under and around the carriage that could prevent it from moving. Make sure the carriage can move freely by gently pushing it to the right and then to the left. This helps find any obstructions that might block the movement of the carriage. If you find any obstructions while moving the carriage, remove them. While the carriage is on the left side, use a flashlight to check the far right of the inside of the printer for obstructions. Remove any paper or debris you may find. Searching inside the printer with a flashlight is probably the most important step in preventing future jams. Once all obstructions are removed, close the top cover of the printer. Turn to the back of the printer. Reconnect the power cord to the back of the printer. Turn to the front of the printer. If the printer does not automatically turn on, press the power button on the control panel to turn on the printer. Try to print a self-test page again. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. Sometimes, improper installation or placement of the printheads can cause a carriage jam. In this step, we will fix this. The printer must still be on for these steps to work. Open the top cover to expose the carriage. To access the printheads, you must press and hold the star button on the printer control panel until the carriage moves all the way to the left. Be careful not to proceed until the carriage is on the left side of the printer. If the carriage does not move to the left after holding down the star button, turn the printer off and back on, and then try holding down the star button again. The printhead can be damaged if the carriage is not all the way to the left for removal. Lift the blue printhead latch. Lift the blue handle on one of the printheads. Then, use the handle to pull the printhead straight up and remove it from the printer. Repeat this for both printheads. Then, reinsert one of the printheads back into its color-coded slot. Gently push down to ensure contact. Then, reinsert the other printhead into its slot. Lower the printhead latch and snap it into place. Close the top cover of the printer. Try to print a self-test page again. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. If the error message still displays, it might not be the printer. The power supply might be the issue. Press the power button to turn the printer off. Go to the back of the printer. Disconnect the power cord. Then, disconnect the power cord from the power strip or surge protector it's plugged into. Plug the power cord directly into a wall outlet. And then, plug it back into the printer. Move back to the front. Try to print another self-test page. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. Sometimes, the issue can be resolved by resetting the printer. First, remove all the paper in the input tray. Make sure that the printer is on. If it is not on, press the power button. Turn to the back of the printer. Without turning the printer off, disconnect the power cord. Pull the power cord from the wall outlet. Wait 15 seconds. It is important to wait for the full 15 seconds to allow time for all power to drain from the printer. Reconnect the power cord to the wall outlet. And then, plug the power cord back into the printer. And go back to the front. If the printer does not turn on by itself, press the power button to turn it on. Load paper into the input tray and adjust the guides so they're snug against the stack. Try to print a self-test page again. On the printer control panel, touch the Setup button. Touch Print Report from the menu. Touch Self-Test Report from the menu to print the self-test report. If the test page prints successfully, the issue is resolved. If the test page does not print, go on to the next step. If you've tried everything described in this video and you still have a problem, your printer likely needs some type of service. Contact HP to find out what the support options are for your printer. Your options for service may vary depending on how long you've owned it and what country you live in.